Well, welcome to the virtual St. Louis Earth Day Festival. My name is Bob Henkel with Earth Day 365, and today we have the St. Louis Arts Chamber of Commerce, Andy Brooks, here talking about this fantastic arts and conservation project, Silent Skies, and helping to show us how to do origami folding to connect birds and their flight. So come fold along with St. Brooks.
Good morning. I hope everyone is staying nice and dry on this kind of cold, rainy day. And thought we would get right to it. I'm going to share my screen so you can see all of the steps that we'll pull together to create some amazing bird origami and explore nature. Now I got to figure out how to show the screen. There it is. There. And up we go. Awesome. If everybody can see the screen, as soon as I find the button, there we go. The St. Louis Arts Chamber of Commerce has developed a citywide 3-month collaborative about art and nature that had 45 participating organizations, and it was to open April 1st. Obviously, in this situation, it was not able to open as a physical exhibit. That will happen this fall. But in the meantime, we can still talk about the arts and conservation working together to support the planet. And today's topic is about birds and supporting birds during this peak time for migration. One of the things we can do is fold birds. It keeps little hands busy at home when they are in shelter in place. And also is fun to do, and we can then use them in a social support project that I'll talk about towards the end of the presentation. One fun thing you can do with origami is to create sculptures with them, if you will. This is an origami project with the directions on Dick Blick's website to create an origami mobile. These are fun over kids' cribs, but also as centerpieces. And all it takes is an embroidery hoop, the appropriate thread, and a whole lot of folding. So today we're going to start with the crane, which is what this one is made of. And look at how to fold a paper crane. Couple things with origami is that you want to make those creases nice and sharp. So if your fingers aren't getting a nice sharp crease, try using a ruler or a bench scraper or even the edge of a pencil to really get those strong, sharp creases. The other thing is the paper has to be square. So since it's not always available to have square paper, you can use copy paper and create a square from it, which I will show you in the video here in just a minute. Now, as far as starting with the crane, not only was that the bird in the example I showed you earlier, but it is an endangered or threatened animal throughout the world. Of the 15 species, 11 of them are considered threatened or endangered. But it also has significance as a symbol of good luck. In Japan, folding paper cranes is considered not only good luck when you give them to others, but it is also a symbol of hope and healing during challenging times. All things considered, that seems like a real appropriate place to start today. So let's get started on folding our paper crane. All you need is a square piece of paper and a few key folds, and you can create a paper crane. And the second bird we'll do is a flapping bird, which is fun for the kids to do. So I'm starting with an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, which we all have at home, and using some geometry, folding the diagonal, which has now created a square within that triangle. That folded triangle will open to a square. So now I just need to cut off the extra part of the paper, and I now have a square sheet of paper to start my fold. You can use scissors. I find scissors tend to give me a curve where the X-Acto knife or razor doesn't have the same tendency to curve. So now we're going to start with the basic fold. My apologies, I have puppies at home. Fold the paper in diagonals on each side. These are pre-creases that will make folding the actual bird easier later. Now fold the paper horizontally in half and then vertically in half. These pre-creases are our geometric guidelines. So now I'm folding the paper as a diagonal and squash folding to create the bird base, which will be the square that comes up here in just a minute when the squash fold's finished. And you're just refolding the pre-creases. So start with your triangle shape, pull a corner in, and create your square. We'll do that on the opposite side as well. You want to be sure you get your points as sharp as possible because they form the beak and the feet. So all I did was to take my square and squash fold it into a smaller square. This is called a bird base. Now we're going to do a series of 3 folds called a petal fold, where you take the point on one side and fold it into the center so that what was the outer edge lines up with the center fold. Then do it on the other side so that you create this kite shape. Now fold down the top. And when you open this all 3 folds up, you will be able to bend the folds up at the middle and then reverse fold the sides in. This is called a petal fold. And what it's going to do is create the bird's wings. So I fold it back and do the exact same thing on the other side. Start with a point and bring that edge into the center crease. Then start with the point on the other side and bring it into the center crease. So that you create the kite shape. Then fold the top down. And when you reverse all of those folds by opening up the center piece and folding inside along those pre-creases, you created a second petal fold, which will be the second wing. Those 2 points at the bottom will be the head and the tail, and the wings are at the top now. Now repeat that folding in from a corner to the center. And then do it on the other side. So you now have an elongated kite shape with the open part at the bottom. And take one of those open parts and simply fold it up into the one, the top, and then bring it down a little so you have an angle. And that will be the tail. Do the same thing on the left side. Fold it so you have that little angle, and that will become the head of your bird. And fold down the tip of one side to create the bird's head. Now just fold the wings down. And fold the tail and the head slightly apart to give yourself a 3D crane. And you've now created an origami paper crane of an endangered animal. The crane is an endangered animal, but there are 678 other birds that are significantly endangered throughout the world. And one of the major reasons they're endangered is habitat destruction, as well as light pollution. What we can do now, even under stay-at-home orders, we can do things like turn down the lights during the peak migration time, which happens to be right now. It will repeat in the fall for September and October, but the spring migration is about mid-April through mid-May. Problem with the lights are the birds fly by navigating with the stars and the moon. And in big cities where there are lots of lights, they can't see the stars and moon, and tend to hit the glass, causing bird deaths and bird injuries. This also happens often in houses. You'll hear a big thud where the bird has hit the window because the lights are on and it's attracted to the lights. So the first thing we can do right now, right at home, is to simply turn the lights down, especially exterior uplighting of trees, but also things like close the curtains when you have the lights on at night. That drops the lighting from the exterior significantly. You can also do things like place the bird feeders and the bird baths up close to the house within about 2 meters. The reason for that is then when the bird takes off, it can't get enough speed to hit the house and it will take off in the other direction. Place your house plants away from the windows. Not really good to have the house plants right in the window anyway, but the birds are attracted to the plants since that's what they roost on and feed on. Another thing you can do if you get energetic is plant native plants that support the birds, not only in the migration, but our native birds. Within just a year or two of planting native plants, you will see a dramatic increase in the number of native birds who hang around in your yard. For ideas for native plants and how to plant the garden, the master naturalists, the master gardeners, and many of the local nurseries can give you some ideas of how to go about doing that. Another thing you can do is leave the window screens on in front of the windows. The birds don't see the reflection, they see the screen and will avoid it. And then my personal favorite recommendation is to refrain from washing the windows. At my house, that is definitely not a problem, and I practice that one as much as possible. An additional bird that we can fold and is lots of fun for the kids is called the flapping bird. And if you use blue paper, you can make a flapping bluebird, or red paper and make a flapping cardinal. But this is a simple flapping bird that kids enjoy doing, and they spend time flapping the birds around the house. So when we do the flapping bird, it's very, very similar to the origami crane. It starts with the basic folds and then makes a minor adjustment to create the flapping that the bird can do. So again, we're going to start with a square piece of paper, make my diagonals to both sides. And I wasn't getting good creases, so I just used the edge of my cutter to make a good crease. And now we're going to do the horizontal and the vertical folds. And while people are folding, one of the things that's fun to do with this, especially if you don't have origami paper at home and you're using copy paper, is cut the paper first, then let the kids decorate it, color it, paint it, whatever, and then fold your origami to create your colorful birds. Now we're going to decide which is going to be the primary fold, the primary square. And I decided it would be this one because the amount of leaf in the fold was less on this side than on the other side, and I would be able to fold it better. So now I've created my triangle, and I'm going to do a squash fold. Bring the point on one side in to the center of the square at the bottom. Now bring the point of the other side in to the point at the bottom to create your bird base. And there's our bird base. We simply squash the paper in to create our layers. So now we're going to pull the side corner into the center again, line it up with that center crease. And we're going to do our petal fold. To bring the bottom point up and fold the sides into the center. So these are the same steps as our good luck crane. And we'll repeat to the other side. Bring the side corner into the center and line it up with the center fold. And then fold the top point down. Whoops. The video stopped playing. There we go. And reverse the petal fold. Open up the fold you just made and push the sides into the center. And there's our kite shape. Now to create the flapping bird, this is where it changes. Go ahead and bring up one of those sides to create the tail. And bring up the other side to create the head. Now we have our head and our tail. And create the head by folding the point on one side down. Bring up your wings. Up. Why is my video stopping? I don't think we want to start at the beginning. We'll go back to creating the wings. Now create the head. Just fold the wings up. And now hold the bird by the inside of the tail and by the front of the chest, and the bird's wings will flap and fly away. Okay, so the birds we've talked about are fun to create at home with the kids, but they have strong meaning in nature as well. According to the American Bird Conservancy, an estimated 300 million to 1 billion birds die each year from colliding into glass. From city scrapers to individual homes, the birds get disoriented and either hit the glass and die or hit the glass and become very ill. While window strikes do not get the publicity that massive oil spills do, they make a larger impact. According to the study, it would take 333 Exxon Valdez oil spills annually to equal the number of birds that die each year from window strikes. So by being at home, turning the lights down, closing the drapes when you have the lights on, turning off exterior uplighting, moving the birdhouses and bird baths closer to the house, leaving screens on the windows, and not washing the windows, all helps to support the birds. And to finish up with a success story here, think about the American eagle. Bald eagles was almost extinct 40 years ago. And it has been brought back to not only being off the endangered list, but it's now of least concern with the birds migrating and reuniting to their previous habitats, including, for what it's worth, residential eagle nests here in the St. Louis area. The bald eagle's recovery is an American success story because of man's actions to correct issues that involve loss of habitat and pesticides. Habitat destruction and degradation, illegal shooting, and the contamination of its food source due to pesticides such as DDT almost completely eliminated our national bird. But the Endangered Species Act provided that habitat be maintained, and the EPA's banning of DDT along with individual companies spacing the power lines farther away so that the birds did not close the circuit, all helped the American eagle recover to its natural state. Bird's nests can be seen on Eagle Days up at Chain of Rocks Bridge, as well as in Simpson Park and along the Merrimack, all resident eagles here. As part of our ongoing effort, the St. Louis Arts Chamber of Commerce has developed the Silent Skies Project, in which the 678-piece mural that was created in 2018 by 160 signature members of the Artists for Conservation will be coming to St. Louis. It's so large, it will be exhibited at the zoo, the Botanical Garden, and the Gateway Arch. So please be sure to join us for the in-person exhibition. In the meantime, consider sending some of your good luck cranes to the St. Louis Arts Chamber of Commerce. We will be including them in cards and in letters that will be taken to nursing homes, extended care facilities, and individuals who are shut in their homes with no access to family due to health concerns. Part of our campaign through Give STL Day is to create a smile by creating a card. And nothing is more fun than opening a card to see a good luck crane fall out and enjoy throughout the day. Consider our resources as options for learning more about not only folding origami animals, but also to learn more about the birds. Does anyone have any questions? Bob, I'm going to hand it back over to you then.
Thanks for the presentation. I think people really got to see some really great folding technique, and really thankful for you to be able to share this passion of yours. Great photos of the bald eagle. I saw that was your name on the photo credit, wasn't it?
That was my name on the photo credits. Yes, I spent time up along the dam photographing the eagles fishing.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for sharing this. We hope to get a PDF format of this presentation up on our website. So please go check out and tune into the Earth Day Festival on our website. Thanks so much. We're going to end this meeting there. Thanks, Sandy.
Thank you.